a live update on the latest developments in New Zealand. It is Monday. It is 7:20 p.m. and a lot has happened today in New Zealand. So literally the entire country within the next 48 hours will go into, or in 48 hours will go into lockdown. That basically means that only essential services will be provided and available in New Zealand, such as supermarkets, doctors, and gas stations, that kind of thing. I think almost everyone that can will be working from home. And for those of you that are currently in New Zealand on work visas, I'm going to ask you guys to comply. Just keep your ears open, stay in tune with all the news and the updates. But I've been swamped with a number of inquiries literally since last week, and these have increasingly become more and more, especially following even today's announcements. And it's to do with job security, which one can understand. And what happens if my hours get reduced, or alternatively, I'm in New Zealand, my family's still in South Africa, wife and kids, or husband and kids, or partner and kids are still there, or wherever they are in the world, and can they come over to New Zealand? Now, I have been able to get hold of Immigration New Zealand. I've spoken to one of the officers at the advisor line. And so just to give you an update, first and foremost, those of you who have family members overseas on work and student visas or visitor visas, the border is closed. The recommendation is that they remain overseas until our borders reopen. So please, I just want to pass that on to you. It's sensible also in order to reduce the risk of people potentially flying into New Zealand who have that or could have the virus. They just want to make sure that that is under control. I think one of the other questions that I want to address here too is a question like, do you think my employer will withdraw my employment contract? That's something you need to talk. You don't have to do anything, but obviously talk to them if you are concerned. The government has announced an amazing package. It's all available in the news, so you can certainly go and read as to the announcement that was made today. A package is available to all employers, independent contractors, and so basically what that means is that the employers can apply to the government, and they will then be given funds in order to pay salaries. Now, the amount is just under $600 per week, but you can certainly go and have a look at that. So the aim there is to ensure that no one will be without any income, which is quite amazing. As I said, you will not be able to fly into New Zealand if your visa is approved and you are ready to fly into New Zealand. You will not be able to fly into New Zealand. So you will need to wait until they reopen the borders. Very important to just keep communicating with your employer and make sure that you keep those channels available. Self-isolating in New Zealand, very important at this moment in time for all of us in New Zealand. That basically just means it's lockdown. You stay in your home and you only go out if you have to go out. That would be to go and see the doctor, or alternatively if you have to go and buy groceries or have to go to the pharmacy to go and get medicines. The government has announced that this isolation period is going to be a 4-week period. So for the next 4 weeks, starting in 48 hours, the country is going to be in lockdown. They will make a further decision, obviously closer to that, the end of that particular time. Another email or few emails that I've been getting, or similar inquiries, is my hours have been reduced. Can I work part-time? Very important again to communicate with your employer. Now, Immigration New Zealand is not going to come down in a draconian way. What they will do is obviously look at all of this. They fully realize, just like everybody else, that this is completely out of control. It's not your fault. It's neither your employer's fault. And what I suggest you do is just flick us an email. Let us know whether your hours have been reduced so that we can notify Immigration New Zealand, but you're certainly not going to get into trouble if you have to work reduced hours and your contract says you've got to work 40 hours. They will certainly look at this. These are exceptional circumstances that we are looking at. Also, another question, or a few questions that are similar, is how is working part-time going to affect my residence application? So for those of you with residence applications that are currently lodged, you're still on your work visas, and maybe you are also now told that you can only work a certain number of hours per week. Again, as I said, please communicate. Let us know, or let Immigration New Zealand know. It's circumstances beyond your control. They're not going to hold that against you. So we had more than 10,000 people visit our website today. The website crashed as a result of that, and we were able to get it rebooted or whatever, and so it looks like it's working again and everything's back to normal there. But I'm going to ask you to please just look at the newspapers, look at the press as the results come out and as they publish updates. From our side, all of us are working remotely at the office. I believe the courier services may also be interrupted following the total lockdown in 48 hours from now. However, I'm going to ask you to just email documentation. We will communicate via email. We will still be able to lodge applications. At this moment in time, it's just very important to keep the channels of communication open between yourself and your employer, and to focus on getting your job done to the best of your ability and communicate. So we're all in this together. We will get through it. This will also come to an end. And stay positive, and most importantly, stay safe. And so I wish you and your family a very, very good evening, and trust that you will look after yourself in a very positive way. Take care. Bye-bye.